What's going on, guys? It's BB202, and today we're going to be talking about why LEGO should bring their castle theme back. This is kind of a part 2 to the video I uploaded in July, How Licensed Themes Ruin LEGO. I'm going to leave a link to that in the description below. This is going to be kind of an ongoing series, but anyway, today we're going to be going over LEGO Castle's origins and history, when it truly kind of fell off and got discontinued, and why I think LEGO should bring it back. So let's just get straight into the video. Castle is one of LEGO's 3 core themes, along with City and Space. All 3 were introduced in 1978 and have gone through numerous stylistic changes throughout the years. In those 40 years, Castle has produced many different sub-themes, introduced new pieces like the Ghost, King's Crown, and dragons of all shapes and sizes, and launched one of LEGO's first true Big Bang themes with Knights Kingdom 2 in 2004. Castle was a staple of LEGO and one of their icons, but it suddenly disappeared. It all started in 2012. LEGO Kingdoms, an excellent sub-theme that was well liked by AFOLs for its realistic sets and new building techniques, was discontinued to make way for The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. Those 2 themes performed decently in their first year, and it was reasonable to expect at the time the castle would not be coming back anytime soon. However, a brand new castle theme was launched the next year, with yet another take on the lions and dragons concept. The theme was panned by fans of Castle for being targeted too much towards children, and the fact that it was a massive downgrade from Kingdoms, and it was cut short after just one wave. Interestingly enough, The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit were both massive flops in their second year and were cancelled by the end of 2014. There were no regular castle sets for the next 2 years, representing the longest drought since 2003, but rumors popped up in early 2015 about a new fantasy-inspired castle theme due to launch in 2016. This theme turned out to be Nexo Knights, which started out with medieval roots but ended up having very little to do with Castle by its 3rd year. Many AFOLs refuse to call Nexo a castle theme, and although LEGO has been clear that Nexo is an official sub-theme, I don't blame them for thinking that. We are now going on 6 years since the last true castle theme, and some fans are starting to return to their dark ages out of frustration. LEGO has said numerous times that City, Space, Pirates, and Castle are all evergreen themes, and that they will all be around in some form pretty much every year, but they're starting to go back on their word. When they were saying this, the licensed themes invasion of 2012 hadn't happened yet, and those themes weren't in danger. Since 2012, there's been one wave of Castle, one wave of Space, and one wave of Pirates. 2012 was 7 years ago. For the record, Star Wars doesn't count as Space, Pirates of the Caribbean is not a pirate sub-theme, and Harry Potter definitely doesn't count as a castle theme, as it was set in the 1990s. These themes are okay in their respective spheres, but fans of the original themes have made it very clear that they will not accept them as substitutes for the real thing. I'm not a Pirates or Space fan, but LEGO needs to keep their word and treat their fans with respect. Some will argue that Castle's longtime fans who have been with the theme since the Yellow Castle are becoming less and less relevant because they are getting older and fewer in number. This is true, but it's not like they aren't being replaced. I grew up with Kingdoms and Castle 2013, and I know a lot of people who grew up with Knights Kingdom 2 and Fantasy Era. As long as LEGO keeps producing castle themes, they will continue to replace their longtime fans who are dropping off with younger ones. Not producing castle sets disrupts the cycle, because today's kids either grew up on the Space Castle mashup that is Nexo Knights, or they haven't been interested in the theme at all. Again, LEGO has said the castle will come back one day, but that needs to be sooner rather than later because they are at risk of losing more castle fans. I was recently watching a video by a guy named Nick on Planet Ripple, where he covered the history of Knights Kingdom 2 and to a lesser extent Nexo Knights at the end of the video. Now, for all the hate those 2 themes get online, I found nothing but positive reception for them in the comments below. The video itself has over 42,000 views, and it seems to have attracted a lot of people who had nostalgia for those 2 themes. Nexo Knights, in many ways, is a continuation of Knights Kingdom 2, as he shows in the video, and there are a lot of parallels between them, but that doesn't really alienate them from other Castle fans. I also saw a lot of people in the comments who wanted regular Castle back, and people who were worried about licensed themes taking over. Of course, LEGO thinks that we're a minority, but the views on the video are definitely testament there are people out there who think the same way. I'm not really asking for much from LEGO. All I want from them are a few castle sets a year, a couple of new factions, and some new pieces. You know, up until recently, LEGO had been able to do that every single year. When you look at the timeline of their castle sets, they've been able to make one every single year up until a couple of years ago. And I don't know why they broke that streak. Some people are claiming that Castle doesn't sell as well as it used to, or that Harry Potter is blocking it. But Harry Potter came out for a full decade in the early 2000s, and there were 3 castle themes that ran alongside it, including the incredibly popular fantasy era. So Harry Potter is not a viable excuse. Other people are worried that LEGO is not including enough historical stuff in their sets. When you look at next year, there are no historical themes. More than half of them are licensed, and like 6 more are just generic pieces, including collectible minifigures, which is now turned into a bunch of costume minifigures and licensed minifigures. I don't know why LEGO's doing this. They can't act like it's selling well. They lost money in 2017. They reported no growth this year. So saying that Castle doesn't sell well when Castle hasn't been out the last 2 years and your set's sold terribly isn't really a viable excuse either. So all I want from LEGO, again, is just the bare minimum. Please retain your Castle fans. I've noticed a lot of people that I'm friends with are going back into their dark ages because LEGO's not making anything that appeals to them. I don't blame them, and frankly, I'm considering it myself. If LEGO doesn't make a Castle theme this year or next year, I think I'm just going to give up on the hobby. Again, you can't say I didn't give them a chance. So I've sunk a ton of money into LEGO. I feel like I've paid my due diligence to ask for this. And at the very least, I'd like an official response on why they're not making Castle sets anymore. So that's going to be the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please tell me your thoughts in the comments below. Please support me on Patreon. This video took me a while to make, and even a donation of $1 would be appreciated. Go ahead and follow me on Instagram. I've got a lot of leaks coming up for next year's sets. And again, thank you guys so much for watching.